Ghost of Buckingham Palace by David Walliams, narrated by me. Chapter 13. Talking Toilet. Knock, knock, knock. It was morning, and Alfred was awoken sharply by a knocking on his bedroom door. But it wasn't someone knocking on the door, it was someone knocking into the door. Or rather, not someone, but something. Oh no, the Octobot. The robot butler was charged with waking the prince up every morning, but all it was doing right now was crashing repeatedly into the door. Knock, knock, knock. Wait, Octobot, wait! It was Nanny's voice. Wait, I haven't unlocked the door yet. Naughty Octobot. Knock, knock, knock. Click. The old lady opened the bedroom door, precariously balancing the breakfast tray she was carrying in one hand. As soon as the door was fully open, the Octobot trundled slap bang into the doorframe. Doink! Next, it darted into the bookshelf. Smash! The books tumbled to the floor. Thunk, thunk, thunk. Finally, the Octobot trundled over to the four-poster bed, bumping into a post so hard, crunch! It very nearly made it into a three-poster bed. In doing so, another one of the robot's arms, the one with the duster attached, broke clean off. Snap! The Octobot now only had 4 of its 8 arms left. A quadrobot. Good evening, Empress, it announced in its posh robotic voice. Alfred rolled his eyes. Not again. It's time to treat the colour. Malfunction. Address the nation. Malfunction. Open a library. Malfunction. I can't control it, sir, shouted Nanny over the noise. The old lady was so animated, her false teeth were clickety-clacking like crazy. All right, Octobot, shouted Alfred. It's all good. Thank you. I'm awake. Wake up, said the robot as the fly swatter on the end of one of its arms whacked the boy repeatedly on the forehead. Thwack! Ouch! Malfunction. Thwack! Ouch! Malfunction. Thwack! Ouch! Malfunction. That hurts, you mechanical dustbin, shouted Alfred. The next whack hit the boy so hard, thwack, that the fly swatter arm came clean off. It fell to the floor with a clank. 3 arms left, the Octobot, or rather Tribot, was oblivious. If that will be all, I must go and water the curtains. Malfunction. Iron the roses. Malfunction. Stir the toilet. Malfunction. 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 With that, the Octobot spun around the prince's bedroom, its remaining arms knocking a table over. Bonk! Smashing an antique vase to pieces. Crash! And hurling a statue to the floor. Wallop! Make it stop! Shouted Alfred. The no-nonsense Nanny threw the plate of food she was still carrying down on the bed, then bashed the robot butler with her antique silver tray. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Then she bashed it some more. Clunk, clunk, clunk. And some more. Clunk, clunk, clunk. Shoo, you talking toilet, she shouted. Congratulations on your coronation, were its last words as the old girl shoved the robot out of the bedroom and slammed the door shut. Thud! Thank goodness for that, said Alfred. I wish that thing had an off button. Any news of my mother? He asked eagerly. None, said Nanny, bowing her head. I'm sorry, my little prince. None at all. All I know is that the Queen is being kept prisoner in the Tower of London. Alfred sat up in bed sharply. Then I need to rescue her. Chapter 14. Eggyweg. Nanny scoffed at the boy's suggestion. I'm afraid that's impossible. Why? Nothing is impossible. It is. Outside of Buckingham Palace, The Tower of London is the most heavily guarded building in Britain. It needs to be. It's home to the country's very worst criminals, revolutionaries, the worst of the worst, the most dangerous folk who want to see you dead. A look of panic flashed across the prince's face. I pray they don't hurt Mamma. He held onto the old lady's arm. Oh, Nanny, you must help me, please, I beg you. Mother is going to come to a grisly end in the tower unless we do something, and fast. There, said Nanny, pulling the young prince to her chest. Your mother would hate to see you like this, wouldn't she? Alfred nodded. She wouldn't want you to be sad now, would she? The boy shook his head. So, come on, eat your breakfast. Without saying a word, the prince inspected the yellow and orange lump on the chipped china plate. It was, of course, eggy wag, exclaimed Nanny. Yes, I can see, replied Alfred, trying not to sound too disappointed. My special recipe, boasted the old lady. Eat up. Alfred couldn't face Nanny's eggy wag, not this morning. I'll have it in a moment, thank you. No, she implored. Eat it up all now, every last bit. You're not well, my little prince. You need to get your strength up. Nanny settled in at the end of his bed. She smiled at him and nodded as if to say, Go on. Alfred stared at the scrambled eggy wag. It looked as if it were plastic, and from experience, it was going to taste like it too. He took a mouthful. Sting! There was that familiar, bitter aftertaste again. Alfred winced. Without swallowing it, he lied. Delicious! Thank you, Nanny. Good boy. Now, eat it up while I tidy this room of yours. The old lady hopped off the bed and made her way to the window. As she ran her hands over the woodworm holes in the frame, Alfred seized his chance. He spat the mouthful of eggy wag back onto his plate. Splat! Then he scooped up the lot and hid it in the drawer of his bedside cabinet. Shunt! I must go get these holes repaired, said Nanny. You will catch your death with all this freezing air coming through. No, Nanny, please don't, replied Alfred. Without a key, this was his only way out of his bedroom. No, it has to be done, she said, turning round. At once, she noticed that the boy's plate was empty. You finished your eggy wag? Thank you, yes, thank you so much. It was yummy. Immediately, she was suspicious. That was very quick. I was starving. Would you like some more eggy wag? No, replied the boy. I've had exactly the right amount of eggy wag. Good, said Nanny. Now, I want you to rest up in bed all day today. But what about the Queen? Oh, Nanny, please, we have to do something. I'll keep my ear to the ground and bring you any news as soon as I have it, she said, sitting next to him on the bed, stroking his head. I promise. Now, back to sleep. With that, she left the prince's bedroom and locked the door behind her. Click! Alfred felt as if he were being held prisoner, just like his mother. Chapter 15. Ruins. Despite not having eaten any of his eggy wag, Alfred felt more full of life than ever. As soon as Nanny had locked his door, he leaped out of bed. Instantly, he began his detective work. He made a big pile on the floor of all his ancient history books. The prince was looking for clues about the markings that had been chalked on the floor of the ballroom. The art of pharaohs, Roman astrology, ancient languages of the world, the origins of chess, Chinese characters and their meanings, a map of the universe, a history of human sacrifice, Greek gods, cave paintings, the worship of evil in medieval Britain, how to get nasty stains off nice floors, A Beginner's Guide to Strange Chalk Markings. However, much he searched and searched these books and many others, he couldn't crack the code of what he'd seen on the ballroom floor. The boy needs to take another look. At this time, copy down what he saw for reference. Alfred opened the little stationery drawer of his antique desk and grabbed a little notepad and a pencil. He stuffed them into his pyjama pocket for safekeeping. The sound of the siren that rang throughout Buckingham Palace for the beginning of that night's curfew couldn't come soon enough. Woo, woo, woo! This was the time where all those inside the palace had to be safely in their rooms, in case of an attack from the outside. Alfred blew out his candle and shuffled over to the windows on his knees. The searchlights that scored the walls of the palace, looking for intruders, passed by his window much more regularly than normal. It was almost as if the royal guards were waiting for him. Alfred didn't dare risk it. The problem was that the only other way out of the door, but that was locked from the outside. If he was going to carry on his detective work, he'd have to think fast. Hearing the wind whistle through the fireplace, whoosh, Alfred realised this might be his only way out of the bedroom. So, he pulled his grate aside and squeezed his skinny little body up into the flue. It was dark and sooty in there, but because the flue had been made out of bricks, he could use them to climb up like the rungs of a ladder. As his bedroom was on the top floor, it was only a short climb to the roof of Buckingham Palace. When he reached the top, he disturbed some pigeons that were nesting there. Squawk, squawk, squawk! This alerted the royal guards who were keeping watch over London from the roof. Alfred couldn't keep himself hidden inside the chimney, as one of those fearsome royal guards left his station to take a closer look. When the last pigeon flew out of the chimney top, squawk, 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 the guard returned to his post. Slowly and silently, the boy climbed out to the top of the chimney. For the first time in his life, he was standing on the roof of Buckingham Palace. As dark clouds swirled above him, he looked out across London. He now had a 360-degree view of the city. A city that he'd studied in books. One that had the most famous skyline in the world. Now it was all in ruins. Alfred thought of what Mike had told him. Of the poor people down there, scurrying around in the dark with little food and no clean water, surviving from day to day. They were people too, but they had been reduced to living like animals. Only because he'd been born a prince was he in the palace, and they were down there. No wonder there was a talk of revolution. Alfred was beginning to think that maybe the revolutionaries weren't the baddies after all. He was determined to do something to help the people of Britain. This was not how the country should be. Then, Alfred heard the sound of something flapping in the wind. Flip, flap, flop. Looking up, he saw the flag of the Griffin on top of the flagpole. How he wanted to tear that flag down and hoist up the Union Jack. One day, he thought, one day. The Union Jack had been symbol of the country for hundreds of years. Now it was the flag that bound together by revolutionaries, and as such has been outlawed by the Lord Protector. The black clouds in the sky above Buckingham Palace parted, and a huge airship sailed into view. On its side was the same image of the Griffin. This airship was used by the Lord Protector to control the people outside the palace. Right on cue, the projector on the roof of the palace flickered into life. It beamed a shaft of light onto the envelope on top of the airship, the part that contained all the gas. The envelope was like a cinema screen. An image of a golden griffin appeared. Then it faded and was replaced by the face of the Lord Protector. "People of Britain," he began, "I, your Lord Protector, have an important announcement." Alfred watched from his hiding place behind the chimney stack. "The revolutionaries struck again last night. St. Paul's Cathedral, a sacred place of worship, was destroyed. This is a new low from a secret organisation that has brought only death and destruction to this land. Sadly, this now calls for extreme measures. After consultation with the king, there is a new law against traitors. Anyone found out in the streets after 8 p.m. will be considered a revolutionary. As such, members of the King's Army or the Royal Guards will shoot on sight." Alfred shuddered. This was even more dangerous than he thought. He looked across the roofs of London towards Big Ben. The clock on the tower was about to strike 8. "I wish you good night," ended the Lord Protector as his face flickered to black, and the airship disappeared back into the clouds. Bong, 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 bong. 8 o'clock. Alfred gulped. Might the Royal Guards shoot him on sight too? Alfred scuttled across the palace roof. He found a small hatch, which he carefully opened and clambered through. Next, he dangled by his arms for a moment before dropping onto the carpet below. Thud! Now he was back inside the palace, and tonight's adventure could begin. That's the end of these chapters, folks. If you enjoyed, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Wash your hands, stay safe, and goodbye.